Hi, good evening, everyone. Beta, welcome to the next lecture. And today I am going to go ahead and talk about how taxes are uh, impacting the budget line. Alternatively, थोड़ा आसान तरीके से बोलें तो how budget line is getting affected by taxes. कैसे budget line shift करती है या pivot करती है या क्या होता है budget line को जब भी हम tax impose करते हैं. ठीक है? Now, beta, there are three kind of tax that I will be teaching you today. Tax number one. This is called as quantity tax. Okay, beta. Quantity tax is a tax which is imposed per unit that you consume. समझो बेटा. Suppose example, I go ahead and I tell you that for each unit of good one consumed, tax paid is T rupees. Tax paid is T rupees. So, इसका क्या मतलब है? What does this mean, beta? It means that for every unit of the good that you go ahead and you consume, आपको T rupees tax देना पड़ेगा. So, for example, if I tell you that, suppose example, price of good one P1 है. P1 is the price of good one. So when I consume the first unit, जब बेटा मैंने एक unit consume किया, I am paying P1 as the price of good one plus I am paying T rupees as the tax on each unit I am consuming. So T is the tax I am paying. So beta, what is the price of good finally? The price of good will be P1 plus T, right? Acha, what if you consume 2 units? So beta, each unit will cost you P1 and for each unit, हर unit पे आप जो tax pay करोगे, that will be T. तो price, total amount paid will be 2 into P1 plus T. समझे बात को? So when we talk about quantity tax is imposed for each unit of consumption. So it is like saying that the new price is now P1 plus T. आपका गुड का जो प्राइस है इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड बाय T रुपीज. तो अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल सपोज आई टेल यू दैट प्राइस ऑफ गुड बेटा दैट इज सपोज 5 रुपीज, right? And per unit there is a tax of beta 2 rupees. So how much amount will you pay per unit? Amount paid per unit कितना पे करोगे बच्चे? You will be paying 5 rupees as price and 2 rupees as tax. So beta you will be paying 7 rupees per unit. हर यूनिट के लिए आप 7 रुपए पे करोगे. You will be paying 7 rupees per unit. So we can say, please write down with me, quantity tax is like increasing the price of the commodity by T rupees. I have increased the price of the commodity. मेरा commodity का जो price है that has increased by how much बच्चे? By T rupees. So what is your old budget line beta? It is P1 X1 plus P2 X2 is equal to income of consumer. And what will be your new budget line beta? The price of the good is now what? P1 plus T per unit. हर यूनिट के लिए आप अब P1 plus T पे कर रहे हो into number of units plus P2 X2 is equal to income. Is equal to income. So it is like that the price of the good has increased. If price of commodity increases, we have already seen budget line will pivot inwards. ठीक है, तो बेटा ध्यान से देखो, गुड 1, गुड 2, देखो ये वाला इंटरसेप्ट क्या है, m by p2. First, what was the intercept, beta? M by P1. Now, what will be the intercept, beta? M by P1 plus P. We are dividing by a bigger number. So, it will pivot inwards. Inward pivot. Acha, this is my old budget line. Bache, what is the slope of this old budget line? Minus P1 by P2. This is my new budget line. What is the slope of new budget line, beta? Minus P1 plus T by P2. है ना? In absolute sense, देखो numerator बढ़ रहा है, numerator is increasing, absolute, not negative sign के साथ. So in absolute sense, slope has increased. Beta, we have studied when slope increases, budget line becomes steeper. Budget line becomes steeper. So what has happened to the budget line? It has become steeper. Clear? Clear hai? Acha, example. I am telling you price of good 1 is 4 rupees. Price of good 2 is 5 rupees. Income of consumer is 20. Now, there is tax, per unit tax on good 1 of 1 rupee. Of 1 rupee, right? Then find new budget line. Right, beta? Plot new budget line. Find new budget line slope. न्यू बजट लाइन निकालो, ओल्ड बजट लाइन निकालो, दोनों का स्लोप निकालो, दोनों को ग्राफिकली प्लॉट करो. दिस इज ऑल दैट यू नीड टू गो अहेड एंड डू. लेट्स स्टार्ट बेटा. व्हाट विल बी योर ओल्ड बजट लाइन? P1 price of good 1 into number of units of good 1 plus price of good 2 number of units of good 2 is equal to income of the consumer. है ना? This will be my old budget line beta. Okay, बच्चे, what will be your new budget line? New price क्या होगा? Per unit 4 rupees तो देने ही थे, but now per unit I need to pay this 1 rupee as tax also. For every unit I consume, I need to pay 1 rupee as tax. So beta 4 rupees plus 1 rupee, total I have to pay 5 rupees. So beta it will be 5. Number of units consumed. Price of good 2 is unchanged. Number of units consumed 20. Clear? What is the slope of old budget line, beta? Earlier it was P1 by P2. That means minus 0.80. Right? What is the new slope, beta? P1 by P2. That means minus 1. So if I look in absolute sense, ये 0.80 है और ये 1 है. Slope has increased. Budget line will become steeper. ठीक है बेटा. Now let's plot the new and old budget line. So beta, I'm taking good 1 here. Good 2 here. What is your intercept term? M by P1, M by P2. So earlier my income is 20. 20 divided by 4 will be 5. 20 divided by 5 will be 4. So here I have 4, 5. This is my old budget line. कैसे आया बेटा ओल्ड बजट लाइन? लेट्स जस्ट रिकैप. इनकम डिवाइडेड बाय P1. Income divided by P1. 20 divided by 4. That means 5. Income divided by P2. 20 divided by 5. That means 4. Clear? Now, beta, what is going to be your new budget line? Dekho. Income divided by P1. 20 divided by 5. That means 4. और P2 तो unchanged है. P2 is unchanged only, beta. So 20 divided by 5, 4. So this will be your old budget line. I have already written. And this will be my new budget line. Clear, beta? So what has quantity tax done? It has pivoted the budget line inwards. Clear? बेटा यहां देख सकते हो दिस इज m डिवाइडेड बाय P1 प्लस T. m है 20, प्राइस ऑफ गुड वन 4 था एंड टैक्स वाज 5. तो 20 डिवाइडेड बाय 5 दैट मींस 4. वही तो यहां आ रहा है. दिस 4 ओनली इज कमिंग हियर एंड दिस 5 इज कमिंग हियर. ओके ओके बेटा. Now let's go to the next tax. So this is our first kind of tax, which is called as quantity tax. Now I want to do the next tax, and that is called as, please write down, tax number 2, value added tax. Beta, quantity tax and value tax are very similar in nature. Just that now I am putting tax as some percent. ठीक है. This is not on quantity. ऐसा नहीं है कि 1 यूनिट पे 1 रुपया, 2 यूनिट पे 2 रुपया. I am not putting a tax on the quantity. Rather, I am putting a tax on the value. So this tax is imposed on value. For example, beta, if I tell you price of good 1 is 5 rupees, price of good 2 is 10 rupees, income of consumer is 100. Okay. And I tell you there is 10% tax on good 1 value. Price of good 1 pay, there is a 10% tax. There is 10% tax on the value of good 1. So now what will happen, बच्चे? क्या हो जाएगा? What will happen? So the new price of good 1 will be what, beta? Old price plus 10% से increase हुआ है. It has increased by 10%. 10% of old price. So this is my old price. है ना? And this is the tax imposed. And कैसे tax impose कर रहे हैं? How am I imposing tax, beta? In terms of some percentage, right? It is 10% of the old value of the old price. Clear? So what will be your new price, beta? 5 plus 10% of 5. That means 5 plus 0.5. That means 5.5. So your new price of good 1 will become, beta, what? 5.5. ये आपका न्यू प्राइस हो जाएगा. न्यू प्राइस ऑफ गुड 1 will become 5.5. अच्छा, can you tell me what will be your old budget line? क्या होगा बेटा old budget line? Yes, it is going to be P1, price of good 1, X1 plus P2 X2 is equal to, income is given as 100, right? And what will be your new budget line, beta? New price is what? New price is 5.5 good 1 का. तो 5.5 X1 plus 10 X2 equal to 100. Clear? Beta, what is the slope? If I compare the slope P1 by P2, that means minus 0.5. What is the new slope, beta? P1 by P2 minus 0.55. तो एब्सोल्यूट सेंस में क्या हुआ है? 0.5, 0.55. Slope has increased. Budget line will become steeper. What will happen to the budget line, beta? Budget line will become steeper. Clear? ठीक है बच्चे. Now let us go ahead and plot this. Good one. Good two. बेटा what is, पहले देखो, m by p1, 100 divided by 5, that means 20. M by p2, 100 divided by 10, that means 10. Beta, this is my old budget line. This will be my old budget line. Now what is happening, beta? Now I have 100 divided by 5.5. 100 divided by 5.5. So if I just divide this, 100 divided by 5.5 is 18.18. तो अब यहाँ पे हो जाएगा 18.18. And 100 divided by 10 is 10 only. So I can just join this. है ना? And this will be my new budget line. ये हो गया inward pivot. Right? Let's write down generally, beta. General case. So generally, if my old budget line is P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to income of consumer, so what is my new budget line, beta? P1. Tax is on good 1. कितना percent है? Suppose V%. ठीक है, या T%. You can keep any percent, है ना? So T% of P1. ये न्यू प्राइस हो गया P1 प्लस T% of P1. देखो यहां पे, जस्ट कंपेयर इट बेटा. व्हाट इज योर न्यू प्राइस? P1 प्लस 10% of P1. क्योंकि व्हाट वाज द टैक्स रेट? 10%. अब 10 की जगह आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग जनरल, तो T% of P1 into x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to n. क्लियर बेटा? देखो यहां पे P1 प्लस T%. हाउ डू आई कन्वर्ट परसेंटेज? 100 से ये करके into P1 x1 plus P2 x2 equal to n. I can take P1 common बेटा. 1 plus T by 100 x1 plus P2 x2 equal to n. ये हो जाएगा बेटा P1 1 प्लस एनीथिंग डिवाइडेड बाय 100 को कैसे हम लिख सकते हैं? x1 plus P2 x2 equal to n. 6 divided by 100 is 0.06. 7 divided by 100 is 0.07. तो t divided by 100 will be 0.0t. ठीक है, into x1. तो ये हो जाएगा बेटा P1 1.0t x1 plus P2 x2 equal to n. So your old budget line was this, है ना? And your new budget line will be this बेटा. कंपेयर कर लो. क्या लिखा था हमने एग्जाम्पल में? 10% टैक्स था ना गुड 1 पे, और प्राइस ऑफ गुड 1 पहले 5 था और प्राइस ऑफ गुड 2 10 था. तो न्यू बजट लाइन अगर मुझे लिखनी हो तो प्राइस ऑफ गुड 1 5, 1.0, 10% टैक्स. तो टी की जगह पे आई विल रिप्लेस इट विथ 10% बेटा. तो ये हो जाएगा 10 x1 प्लस 10 x2 equal to m. M is 100. 5 into 1.1 क्या होता है बच्चे? 5.5 x1 plus 10 x2 equal to 100. So this will be your new budget. Clear? तो try to understand कि ये जो हमने हमारा new budget line यहां लिखा था, the new budget line that I had written here बेटा, इसी का general form ये है. This is its general form. है ना? Clear? Case 3 beta, last case. Income tax is on income of the consumer. It is like, it's also called as lump sum tax. है ना? So for example, beta, your old budget line, that is P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to income of the consumer. ये हमारा old budget line है. P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to income of the consumer. And हमारा new budget line बन जाता है बेटा P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to income minus taxes. ये जो T है ये इनकम टैक्स है. पहले ही इनकम से आई एम रिड्यूसिंग सम अमाउंट. I am reducing 100 rupees. I am reducing 200 rupees. So I am deducting some money from the income. That is called as income tax. Is that clear? So this is my old budget line beta and this is my new budget line. ठीक है जी? Okay beta. Let's take an example. So suppose I tell you P1 is 5, P2 is also 5, income of consumer is 200. Okay. And then there is a tax, lump sum tax, fixed tax of 50 rupees. एक fixed tax impose किया गया है. The fixed tax imposed is for 50 rupees. So what is going to be your old budget line beta? Very simple. P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to income of the consumer. Right? And what will be your new budget line beta? P1 x1 plus P2 x2. New income क्या है? Old income minus tax paid. Old income minus tax paid. That will be your new income. Clear? ठीक है बेटा. So this will give you 5x1 plus 5x2 is equal to 150. Old budget line, new budget line. Plot करते हैं बेटा. How will I plot this? M by P1, 200 divided by 5 will be 40. M by P2, 200 divided by 5 will be 40. Join this. What's the slope beta? P1 by P2, 5 by 5, 1. New budget line बनाओ बेटा. 150 divided by 5, 30. 150 divided by 5, 30. What is the slope? P1 by P2 minus 1. So the slope of the budget line is unchanged. Budget line का slope change नहीं हुआ है. What has changed? Only shifted backwards. अब आपकी जो income है वो कम है, right? It has shifted backwards. That's the only change that you see here. Clear? So I hope all three kind of taxes are clear to you beta. अब हम कुछ क्वेश्चंस मैं आपको दे रही हूं. You need to go ahead and you need to do them as homework. Homework question बेटा. ठीक है? Consider that there is an initial budget line which is given to you as P1 x1 plus P2 X2 is equal to income of consumer. ठीक है? Price of good one doubles. ठीक है बेटा? Price of good two becomes 8 times. हाँ बेटा? Income becomes 4 times larger. ठीक है बच्चे? Write equation of new budget line and plot both budget lines. Homework question है बेटा. You are given P1 X1 plus P2 X2 is equal to income of consumer. Price of good one double हो रहा है, price of good two 8 times हो रहा है, income 4 times larger हो रही है. You need to write the equation of new budget line and you also need to go ahead and plot both the budget lines. Homework question, I will go ahead and discuss this in the next lecture. Try to do this on your own.